Said Al Nahyan, and in appreciation of His Highness' efforts in order to instill peace for all peoples and nations. The issuance of this document is a great global achievement that is achieved by the United Arab Emirates, which proudly writes it in the pages of history to translate the approach of our founding father, Sheikh Zayed, and our wise leadership is preserving this heritage that can lead the whole world in its strive for happy coexistence. In celebration of this document, and in order to celebrate the Global Day for Human Fraternity, Mohammed bin Zayed University for Humanities and Trends Research and Advisory are pleased to hold this symposium where several experts and thinkers will be discussing an effective global action to foster a culture of human fraternity in order to contribute to activate the recommendations of the document, especially in the practical aspect. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present His Excellency Dr. Khalid Al Yabhouni, Chancellor of the Mohammed bin Zayed University for Humanities. It's very low, I can't hear. The Chancellor of Mohammed bin Zayed University for Humanities. No sound. In the name of Allah, peace be upon you. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start by thanking participants in this symposium that comes as part of the cultural and scientific initiatives of the Mohammed bin Zayed University for Humanities in partnership with Trends Research and Advisory. The topic of this symposium is consistent with the UAE's efforts in order to boost human fraternity among nations and people, and the time coincides with the Day of Human Fraternity on the 4th of February, which was adopted by the UN General Assembly after the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Bahrain submitted an initiative after the meeting that was held between Sheikh Ahmed al-Tayyib, Sheikh of Al-Azhar, and His Eminence Pope Francis, who met in February 2019, and who signed the document of human fraternity for the peaceful human coexistence. This is why the United Arab Emirates is the leader in human fraternity and one of the first countries who contributed to boosting its relations with other countries and people. And the wise leadership of the UAE has given great priority for this initiative in order to strengthen the peaceful coexistence among people and to prevent extremism and violence among people. Human fraternity is based on several values and principles, especially the human unity, which removes any differences among humans, including race and color and religion and others, so that people would be coexisting in peace and harmony. And also it means that respecting other people's right to live peacefully away from extremism, terrorism, hunger, and deprivation, and that everyone can receive their rights and in places that do not allow any racism or marginalization. And this is clear in Abi Talib's statement, who classified brothers into two. He's either your brother in religion or in humanity. So this human fraternity is for everyone who are our brothers in humanity. And in the same context, we remember also his book, A Message in Tolerance, about accepting others as individuals or communities, which was written by Voltaire, one of the leaders in tolerance and humanitarian thinking for everyone to live peacefully. This, these valuable meanings are embodied in the United Arab Emirates, and everyone who lived or visited the United Arab Emirates can touch these values, and the UAE is willing to spread this culture in everywhere in the world so that everyone can live peacefully. Our history is full of examples on tolerance among people and religions since the founding fathers, where everyone from all religions and cultures lived peacefully, whether Hinduism or Christianity or others. Also, the cultural and heritage of the UAE has a lot of examples, such as the Christian monastery in Nias and the Jewish graveyards in Ras Al Khaimah and others. In Mohammed bin Zayed University and our Trends Research and Advisory Center, we seek to enhance and support the country's approach towards human fraternity and encouraging this fraternity. And we believe that our institution is an educational and cultural beacon for this topic and others. I would like to thank you all for your interest and participation, and I would like to thank our partners in Trends Research and Advisory Center. And I hope that our cooperation in such important topics will continue in the future. Thank you so much. Talk, it's louder. Thank you, Dr. Khaled, for this speech. And now I am honored to invite Dr. Muhammad Abdullah Al-Ali, the CEO of Trends Research and Advisory Center, for his speech. It's very quiet. Peace be upon you. Your Excellency, Dr. Khaled Al-Yabhouni, Chancellor of the Mohammed bin Zayed University of Humanities, ladies and gentlemen, may the peace of mercy of Allah be upon you. I am pleased to welcome you all as we are in this educational and humanitarian institution on this important day, the Global Day of Human Fraternity, with several experts and with my brother, Dr. Khaled Al-Yabhouni, Chancellor of the Mohammed bin Zayed University for Humanities, whom I am honored to thank him and appreciate his efforts as for all of you and for all participants and organizers of this event and attendees. We are meeting here today not just to celebrate this international occasion, which was approved by the UN General Assembly after the UAE initiative as one of the most important international days that's important for all humans. We also meet in order to recognize what happened after one day after this day was recognized as members of this humanitarian community, and to recognize the global values and humanitarian principles that this day would spread in everywhere in the world, and for the universalization of the principles and values in the document of human fraternity, the blessed document that was signed on that day. Dear attendees, the organization of this symposium comes on the day where the international community celebrates this day, which is also the day that witnessed signing the document by Dr. Ahmad al-Tayyib, Sheikh of Al-Azhar, and His Eminence Pope Francis of the Catholic Church, who signed the document of human fraternity in Abu Dhabi under kind patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and the Vice Commander of the UAE Armed Forces. It is not strange for the UAE to sponsor and support such an initiative, which instills the values and the heritage of the United Arab Emirates that was instilled by the late His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, who set the approach for our wise leadership so that the UAE has become a beacon for tolerance and acceptance of others and the harmony and coexistence among more than 200 nationalities in the UAE, regardless of their different cultures, beliefs, and religions, and became a leader in its initiatives and international programs that support the culture of dialogue among followers of various religions and beliefs, and instilling the principles of tolerance and respecting the diversity of humans and the coexistence among people. The current moments and in our humanity and international regime requires us to move to boost the culture of human fraternity as a solution for the crisis and current conditions and issues that are our priority on the current international agenda, such as poverty, marginalization, refugees, and other religious and sectarian conflicts, as well as the risks of technological advances and the distribution of natural resources and extremism and the relations between East and West, women empowerment, and other issues such as children labor, climate changes, and the ramifications of the COVID crisis and other crises and issues that we face everywhere in the world. Dear attendees, the current issues require everyone in the world to create institutions and dialogue and initiatives by active and official activists and the civil community and society, universities, and think tanks and other institutions in order to provide the opportunity for everyone to meet and get to know each other away from unjustified fears. And that was one of the objectives of the document of human fraternity and its values and principles. Today's symposium is one step towards an open invitation to the world that is launched by Trends Research and Advisory in cooperation with Mohammed bin Zayed University, and as part of our belief in the importance of a sustainable international dialogue that's based on the document of human fraternity in order to drive everything that would boost the common dialogue among religions, organizations, institutions, and groups, and among any components of our humanitarian communities, and to play more effective roles by the media. All this aims to boost and enhance the principles of human fraternity and to enhance international stability and security so that everyone can live together in peace instead of the extremism. And we hope that our cooperation would continue with our partners who will host this symposium, and we hope that this symposium would add more action towards the human fraternity culture. And I would like again to thank everyone who's participating with us today, and to thank you, our esteemed guest, and the organizers at Trends Research and Advisory Center and Mohammed bin Zayed University of Humanities to enable this symposium, and especially Dr. Khaled Al-Yabhouni. Thank you so much.
Now, Dr. Redwan Al Sayed, member of the faculty of Mohammed bin Zayed for Humanities, you have the floor. On the occasion of the International Day of Human Fraternity, we are recalling the last 5 decades of works and serious actions in the UAE in support of the issues of peace and tolerance and innovation in all aspects. This has been reflected in the words and action of the founding father, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, may he rest in peace. Those works built one nation in a united country, which is beset by the spirit of solidarity and spreading good in this united country and the neighboring countries in the Arab world and the rest of the world. This represents, as I was working on my speech, I was reflecting on the last 50 years of the UAE and looking at the Ittihad newspaper, all the journey of this country since its establishment, with all the values and ethics and practices of the founding father of the country, as it is now stepping in a new world with moderation and tolerance in its actions and foreign policies in the Arab world and internationally. Let us remember that with the children of the founding fathers and the shift of this country towards more prosperity and becoming a model of sustainability, the lasting initiatives have become institutions like the Ministry of Tolerance, Artificial Intelligence, and anti-hate and industrial progress, and also citizenship and religious values aimed at achieving the good for humanity. I would like in this aspect on the occasion of the International Day of Human Fraternity to stress the importance of 3 initiatives that have become institutions with national and international and humanitarian dimensions, which are a document of human fraternity and the charters of the good actions and the document of Mohammed bin Zayed for humanity, with the document of human fraternity signed in Abu Dhabi with the Pope Francis in Abu Dhabi and the patronage of His Highness Mohammed bin Zayed on the 4th February 2019. And the date of signing that document has become the International Day of Human Fraternity. We can see the approach of the ethical aspects of religion and how it contributes in fighting religious extremism and the problems emerging from neglecting the issues of solidarity and advocating for a common work between adherents of different religions for the sake of a better future for all humanity. And as I work in the field of approachment between religions for decades, I can say that this document that has become policies for the UAE and for United Nations is the most important document that can end decades of conflicts and arguments between two big religions, Christianity and Islam. And it represents a model of what the relationship should be between human beings from different religions in different parts of the world. We as Muslims, we should be aware that document of human fraternity represents a new partnership and it's a significant opportunity for us as Muslims to reflect on it and to highlight that we do not want to scare the world or to be feared of it, but to contribute in development and security of this world. As for the charter of the alliance that was launched in 2019, the speech of the good deeds and the initiatives to support the oppressed is very old. There was the old alliance, and it was approved by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and it has become a legacy and for different initiatives of peace and advocacy for all the oppressed. And also welcoming the strangers and supporting them and being inspired by the good ethics. This is the humanity that can fight discrimination, and we use it as the foundation for Islamic values and also as a base for us, like Prophet Muhammad said, the good will be with me and with my community till the last day. And as I said, the progress that Abu Dhabi is offering to national and international communities, the initiatives of education presented in Mohammed bin Zayed University. There is this arguments between the sciences, the experimental sciences, and the humanities sciences. And some people would say this is like a battle between science and religion. Mohammed bin Zayed University considered this as an opportunity for qualification and not as a conflict. And the scholar Abdullah bin Bayya said that it aims to achieve complementarity between humanities and experimental sciences, like it was said before the fourth revolution. We at Mohammed bin Zayed University for the Humanities, we want to achieve comprehensive humanity for all humans. The day of the 4th February is the occasion of the signing, the third anniversary of the signing of Document of Human Fraternity, and at the same time, it's a celebration of 50 years of achievement and victory for humanity and its development at the national level for the UAE. It's a celebration of 50 years of achievement and fighting for the good of humanity. And thank you very much. So you have the floor to moderate this symposium. May the peace and mercy and blessing of God be upon you. I would like to thank Mohammed bin Zayed University for Humanities and TN's Research and Advisory for inviting me. And it's a pleasure for me to be with this elite of experts. Like the colleagues before me said, and today the UAE has followed the human diplomacy in its institutions, and we are living that today. In this spirit, I would like to invite my guest for the first part of this symposium, His Excellency Dr. Omar Habtour Al-Da'i, Director of Fatwa of the UAE, and also Dr. His Excellency Dr. Khalifa Mubarak Al-Dahi, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at Mohammed bin Zayed University for Humanities, and Mr. Hamad Al-Kabi, Editor-in-Chief of Al-Ittihad newspaper. It's also a pleasure to invite His Excellency the General Mohammed Abdul Rahman Mandi, who is expert in security affairs and faculty member at Mohammed bin Zayed University for Humanities. Starting from the idea where God says, say good things to people, I would like to hear from His Excellency Dr. Omar Habtour Al-Da'i about the issue of human fraternity and the vision of Quran in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. May the peace and mercy be on His Prophet, Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, peace be upon you. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me, and I would like to thank all the participants at this symposium, and I congratulate everyone on this occasion that gathers all humanity, which is the International Day of Human Fraternity, and the UAE has strong lies with this day because we are going through the path of love and coexistence. The theme of my speech is human fraternity as a basis for the Quran vision. As you know, Islam is the basis for religions, and this is why Quran occupied the most important part. And God says, He's Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the compassionate, the merciful, and He is the God of all people. This means that the human being is the title, the main title in the Quran. This means that humanity for the Quran is the main value within the system of values. It's about ethics and values that the human being has compared to other creatures. The human being is the noblest one, and we can see that in the verse of the Quran. The Quran gave big importance to the human being, like for different names that he gave to the human beings, and we have seen that in different places in the Quran. And there's the first verse in the Quran. We had the name, the name of the human being that was mentioned twice, and God called them with that description. And the use by the Quran of fraternity is numerous. It's mentioned through religion and fraternity of friendship and the fraternity, and the, the fraternity is the first one because its circle is bigger, because its ties and principles that enhances the relationship between all human beings, and it is the purpose and the goal for different relationship and communication between a human being. It's based on mercy and compassion. This is the description of human fraternity in its best manifestation. And based on the Quran approach, we can say that the value of human fraternity in the Quran is above all the consideration of race, color, religion, and culture. And we cannot consider it as a separate or independent value compared to other values, but it is within a system of values with a foundation, and it's a set of values that take into consideration the others with different aspects. And from its foundation, we see that the human soul is one, and this is something we find in all religions. And God said about Bani Israel, this is why for Bani Israel we said that those who killed innocents, it's like he killed all humanity, and those who gave life is like they gave life to all humanity. So life of one person is like life for all humanity, and we can see that in different verses of the Quran. And God says, "Don't kill yourself." Or don't make trouble among yourselves. So this is the goal, and the reason why some scholars, when they were asked about the other, they said it's you actually, but a different person. And this can be represented in different ways, so that humanity is one family. It comes from the same source, and God addresses all people to understand this sense, because it's the origin of the fraternity. And God says, all people be aware of God who created you from the same source, and God is watching you. And God says in different verses, all human beings, we have created you in males and females, and we can get from this a chart for humanity, which is keeping in touch with each other. And this is what is presented in verses of the Quran. So it mentions humanity when God says in verses the Quran, do not talk about each other in the absence. So human fraternity here includes all people, and this example that God gave proves that humanity is the source and its life, and that the opposite would be going against human nature and would be against the character and the values. So devalued person will be like someone who would be eating the flesh of other people, and this is unacceptable in all religions. The source of this human fraternity and the drive of it is the source of compassion. This source, as it is noble. It's also an approach that was adopted by the scholars to understand the Quran. So they established this source and made the Quran not going beyond two aspects to glorify God and then to have mercy and compassion for human beings. And it's all about this compassion for human beings, and this is reflected in human fraternity. And it was considered as the main sources, and it go beyond anything else. So all the worshipping and the good ethics and the happiness is limited in these two issues. This is why all the prophets followed these charters. They had the charters that God imposed on all humanity when God said for Bani Israel not to worship anyone but God and to have mercy for the orphans and the poor people. And God says, God orders you to have mercy and to avoid corruption. And it is also reflected in the commandments that scholars consider as the main elements of the books. So those commandments that are known as the 10 commandments in the Quran are solid verses that reflect the core sense of the Quran, and they are the foundation of values in the Quran, including the values of human fraternity. There is something important here about these values that we can see in the verse of the Quran. It's like he invaded Al-Aqaba and saving orphans or poor people and being patient. So application of these values involves being patient and to implement these values. And we can notice in this verse of the Quran that God put glorification of God behind and moved forward the values of compassion of human being. So Muslims should understand that human fraternity is a commitment and is should be an element for love and fraternity. And with this value, we can support the oppressed people and we can save lives and we can heal the injured and wounded persons. And I will conclude by highlighting these outcomes. The value of human fraternity in the Quran is the main and the most important circle because it organizes human relationships, and the Quran mentions all the sources. What is mentioned for human fraternity in the Quran ejects all the allegations of the extremists about the values of human fraternity. We would like to thank the UAE and its leadership and its people for all their initiatives for human fraternity, and we highlight the importance of such events because societies need such things to be minded of the need for tolerance and coexistence. And this is what can be achieved with human fraternity for the world. And we ask Almighty God to help us all achieve this for human beings.
No one can lead unless they understand the humans, so that everyone who builds a civilization, we can notice that the community understands the human nature. Now we would like to invite Dr. Khalifa Al-Zahiri to talk about the human fraternity as a basis for the dialogue among religions. In the name of Allah, and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad and his companions, Your Excellencies, dear faculty, dear attendees, may the peace and mercy of Allah be upon you. I am pleased to participate in this symposium on the International Day of Human Fraternity with under the title Towards an Effective Global Action to Foster a Culture of Human Fraternity. It is based on the common awareness among people who recognize the crisis of where humanity lives, where we have a lot of voices for extremism, intellectual extremism, and discrimination, because the last millennium has produced an era of massive communication and contact and complex address of hate and extremism and the soul right law, where all conflicts and the religious and sectarian wars have started to be waged under the argument of rejecting others. Philosopher Roger says that the civilization question is solely based on the religion dialogue. And this dialogue is more important and urgent because of the calls of some people who want to remove to estrange the others and the different ones, and this has become a violent conflict among many others, and there are several religious ideologies that are based on religious differences and violence, and this is the most severe form of violence, because this holy violence is the bloodiest form of violence in the history, because it is based on a belief for some people who believe that it's a holy and blessed duty that they are doing. And this is one of the phenomena that instills the awareness of the importance of human fraternity and the dialogue among religions, especially among the elite of religious thinkers. And any delay in such initiative will endanger the future of humanity and will make the future generations under the mercy of uncontrollable conflicts. There are a lot of common points among religions, human common points, and other levels, including the commonality of human fraternity, which is implied in our Prophet's saying that we are all the sons of Adam. And there are other commonalities on the Abrahami religions and other supreme commonalities for all humanities, including the humanitarian values that all humans agree upon, regardless of their philosophies and cultures. Philosopher Kant says that the right and good and beauty are values, are eternal values that are not related to time or place. What has been a value in the past is a value in the present and will remain a value in the future. And activating these circles, the circle of human fraternity and the participation in dialogue and the communication among societies and humans in harmony, should bridge the gap and remove any understanding and remove the conflicts. The Holy Quran has clarified the culture of difference and asserted that difference is an actual principle of life, and it rejected the rejection of others and their dismissal, and also it removes radicalization, which defines a single aspect of thinking. And Allah says that Allah created the heavens and the earth and created different people in cultures and colors. the religious dialogue aims to activate the common points among humans, including the values that do not differ among people and are not affected by time or place. Also, other goals of this dialogue is to overcome uh, uh, the useless dialogues among some followers of religions, and to take them to more cooperation, collaboration, and coordination that allows the spread of fraternity, the culture and understanding of fraternity. Also, this dialogue helps to protect the holy places and values, which is one of the priorities of humans, because insulting or offending a holy place or holy symbol is an important priority for our dialogue. One of the most important initiatives, historical initiatives in terms of the religious dialogue, is the initiative of the Human Fraternity document, which was born after serious and brotherly dialogue between Al-Azhar al-Sharif and the church, the Catholic Church, which was signed in Abu Dhabi under the patronage of His Highness Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. This event was a historical milestone in the religious dialogue and the dialogue between the East and the West, and a great shift in the humanitarian history. This declaration was a huge religious event that was a futuristic step that opened the way for intellectuals and scientists and others in the religious thinking. A great opportunity for them to have further dialogue and understanding, because it provided understanding for many humanitarian and religious issues that contribute to building the human and protecting humans and the earth and resources, and encouraging the good and to preventing the evil and conflict. Also, the document of Human Fraternity was launched in Abu Dhabi, which is a great call for brotherhood and tolerance and dialogue for all humans, and it needs response from everyone who believes in those values of good in order to achieve world peace and coexistence. Thank you, and peace be upon you. Thank you, Dr. Khalifa Mubarak al-Zahiri, for your speech, which can be summarized in the verse, argue in a good way and understanding, so that everyone will still be brothers despite the difference. Words can wage war, and words can also instill peace, and this is an assertion of the media role in achieving human fraternity. We have Mr. Hamad Al-Ka'bi, editor-in-chief of Al-Ittihad newspaper. The floor is yours. You can speak on the podium or on the stage. Peace be upon you. First, I would like to thank the University of Mohammed bin Zayed University of for Humanities and Dr. Khalid Al-Zahiri for this great organization, and also would like to thank Dr. Mohammed Al-Ali, CEO of Trends Research and Advisory Center, for his commitment and interest to celebrate this great occasion. Our symposium today coincides with the 4th of February, tomorrow, the third annual day of anniversary of signing the document on human fraternity, which was signed in Abu Dhabi, the capital of peace. Before I start, I would like to remind you of a very important point. Human fraternity in our lives as Emiratis, it started with institutional work since almost 3 years or a little bit more, but as as an approach and a practice. It is instilled in the Emirati humans in this blessed land for tons of years. And I would like to remind everyone in the beginning with a visit that was conducted by our founding father, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, in 1958. That's even before the United Arab Emirates was established in its current form. He visited the Vatican, and that visit reflected the actual thinking and approach of the United Arab Emirates in tolerance and enhancing human fraternity. And with this implementation of the institutional form of the document on human fraternity, and as part of the media role and duty, we also follow and support our leadership's approach in providing humanitarian initiatives. The UAE media, including Al Ittihad newspaper, has worked closely on this document, and we were fortunate to attend the historical visit of Pope Francis to Abu Dhabi, which was the first of its kind to the Gulf area. Al Ittihad newspaper was there with that visit, and there was a lot going on in the backstage of this trip in the plane, for example. And I would like to highlight some important parts of this visit. They were not surprised. The Vatican and the Pope were not surprised with the tolerance that was in the UAE. He knew that tolerance and humanity is a core principle for the United Arab Emirates. That's a well-known fact, a welcomed fact, and he was one of the supporters for this approach. And since we were talking to this elite about this culture, the humanitarian culture, the media has a great role to achieve and realize the objectives of human fraternity, which the United Arab Emirates made it not just a practice, but also a global mission for love, peace, and coexistence, and a dialogue for a better future for the whole humans in the world. The media monitored the UAE creative efforts in instilling human fraternity through various practices, and the media also was responsible for enlightening the community, and managed to turn into this vision into a cultural approach that's regulated by several laws and resolutions and steps in order to enhance cooperation, tolerance, and providing assistance and help to every human, regardless of any other considerations, whether geographical or racial or religious. Also, the media monitored some other practices and tasks such as the anti-discrimination and anti-hatred law. Also, the United Arab Emirates has created the Ministry of Tolerance in 2019, and there's a law being devised on the regulating of worship places. Also, it hosted several cultural institutions and museums, such as the Louvre, and through various platforms, the media has played a great role in shaping the public opinion and the future generations regarding the human fraternity, and to mobilize positive energy towards overcoming the common global challenges. This makes me assert the importance of creating content that boosts and enhances human fraternity, while at the same time combats the culture of hatred in line with the human fraternity document. 2 years ago, as you all know, there was the COVID pandemic, and it was a scientific test and a great opportunity to activate our principles that appeared in the document of human fraternity. The United Arab Emirates provided a rich material for media in this regard, and I will provide now some of the examples that we monitored in our coverage. For example, the United Arab Emirates was a great example in terms of providing help and aid to people who were affected and impacted by the pandemic in its early days and until today by contributing to transporting people who were in China in the beginning of the pandemic. Also, it provided aid to people affected with the pandemic with almost 80% of the global response. Also, it ensured the safety of workers and in people, frontliners, and provided ongoing awareness about the dangers of the pandemic. Also, media is able to enhance the dialogue among religions and to highlight its importance for the humanity because the media can mobilize the community energies and capabilities in order to overcome the common human challenges. I would like here to point out for the document on climate change that was hosted by the Pope of Vatican in October last year in preparation for the COP summit on the climate change, which means that the media has a great responsibility in order to convey the Emirates' approach and teachings in the field of humanity and its values, as it provided a great common vision for the future and also contributed very effectively from Abu Dhabi to the whole humanity. Thank you so much.
So the document, if used properly, can solve many problems in the zones of conflict if it's used properly. It enhances fighting all types of extremism and discrimination based on religion, race, color, sex, etc. Everyone here or outside believes that life, who gives life? Almighty God. It's a gift from God. Nobody should threaten life in any way whatsoever by war or by expelling, or because it's God who gave us this life. To protect life, it's a duty guaranteed by all religions, but it seems that people have forgotten about religions and shifted to other things. But if we stick to religions, we'd be able to achieve that. We should be able to seek achieving the values of justice and equality. Personally, I look forward to see that document becoming a comprehensive program, not only on paper, and we keep repeating the same thing year after year. But that document needs to have the tools and the mechanisms so we can benefit from it and present it to the decision makers and use it in our universities, our schools. We can present it also to civil society so we can benefit from it and make it useful in order to achieve peace in the world, which is what we need the most in these days. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency Major General Abdulrahim Bandi. Abdulrahim Mandi gave us a different perspective on human fraternity. If the audience have any questions, we see that the phenomenon of violence is increasing, and people are trying to promote such agenda. Mr. Hamad Al-Kabi, if you can answer. Thank you, Dr. Salah. This is a very important question. The instability and we're talking here at the international level with the increase of extremism and the thoughts that doesn't believe in peace. I would like to highlight something important, that when I joined university, I knew there is a discipline for tolerance, and I have seen that as practice. It's not only words. We have institutions in charge of tolerance. So, as I said, this is a practice that we have in the UAE and that has a positive impact on society in the UAE. Because the lack of development and progress is due to the lack of tolerance. Wherever there is ignorance, there will be extremism and poverty and all the negative things. Thank you, Your Excellency. And I will conclude with the question to Mr. Habto. If there is no question, just go ahead. If you can give him the microphone, please. I am Ibrahim Al-Hajj. I'm a student at the university. My question is to Dr. Al-Dahi. My question is, what are the mechanism to fight extremism and how universities can enhance human fraternity? First of all, I would like to ask the student for this question. Tolerance and coexistence at the university is important. This kind of thought stems from the belief in everyone that there is one and only one law for everyone. This law, if it's not based on the importance of difference, difference in culture, and that there is an awareness about it, and knowing that the Almighty God has created people from different colors and races. If we don't believe in these facts, we will have a one-way thought that we look at the tight corner. It will be looking at the world from self-ego. So that perspective exists, and because acceptance of the others is something that's embodied in the Quran, in the theory of getting acquainted with others. Actually, universities have a major role in enhancing the culture of accepting others. And today we have different subjects at the university that enhance this perspective so that students can learn how to accept the others. We have different activities such as this symposium where we are celebrating the International Day of Human Fraternity, and also different curricula that enhances such thoughts. You said there is a difference, but there is no conflict. Yes, because this difference, we consider it as something that will enrich us more. We'll conclude with the last question. I would like to comment on the point. Uh, if uh, if you can repeat again. when when he was connecting belief and peace, and some Muslim philosopher uh, like Al-Farabi, who built the civil science based on metaphysics, meaning that human values, before they are manifested in human beings, they existed with the God who created us. So we cannot call for peace if without God being the peaceful, or calling for mercy without God being the merciful. So these values are God values, and such values God wanted them to be in all parts of the world. These divine values are manifested throughout the world, and the world is based on values of justice, peace, equality, and we can see them in the countries. And for people to live a decent life with peace, love, and coexistence, it's important for those divine values to be reflected, so that there is a harmony between people and between them and God. May we always have peace and belief. We decided to conclude, but you can ask your question. I would like to thank the university and all the attendees. My question is to His Excellency the Major General, when he talked about the security dimension at the Human Fraternity document, and when he talked about comprehensive peace, comprehensive security, any behavior, whether it's negative or positive, was based on an idea. In your opinion, how can we promote um, uh, security through this human fraternity document? Uh, what I mean by comprehensive security, not only security ideology, but some of the aspects of the system is the security ideology, and then we add to that society and the culture, because it's the thought that can lead to deviation, to extremism. So it's important uh, for our educational institutions to study these concepts, to guide our students towards the future, and to understand security, so that we can protect them. Within the system of comprehensive security, if we focus on political security and neglect economic security, your enemy will be looking at the gaps that you have. So comprehensive security, and even if you study the philosophy of security from its beginning, you can see huge progress, because peace security has become involved in different aspects of life. Even in a religion, we have religion security, and it's part of security thoughts. But the security system must be comprehensive. So I think we will stop now, and we'll be back after 5 minutes to continue with our guest. We'd like to thank the guest, His Excellency Dr. Omar Habto Al-Da'i, and Mr. Hamad Al-Kabi, and His Excellency the Major General. And thank you very much for your reactions, and see you in the second part of the symposium.